So we're kind of on this conversation with talking about weight management and obesity. We went through some ways to measure body fat last week. I have another one here called the Navy calculator that I could show you. It's pretty simple. It's not, I would say it's one of the least accurate, but it's very simple and it does not require the need to have skin fold calipers or DEXA scan or things like that. So I'll mention that. But what we can start off with is the article I mentioned last week, and this kind of piggybacks on everything we've been talking about. And it's from a source called Precision Nutrition. I've had plenty of students, and I posted this if you guys want to check it out, just because I'm going to scroll through it relatively quickly. Precision Nutrition is a accessory certification. It's pretty intense. It's pretty awesome. I've had many a student that do it kind of either during or after the program, or I've had one or two students that did it prior to. And it really dives into specifically nutrition. You talk about all different types of stuff that take what I teach you and elaborate on it a little bit. And they'll dive a little bit more into the emotional aspect and correlations between geographic range and stuff like that. But whatever, it's pretty cool. So I got this from there. So what we're looking at, we're talking about this body fat, right? Dude, everybody kind of has, I don't want to say a misunderstanding, but this concept of, super low body fat, right? You're in the fitness industry, you understand, right? A lot of individuals are very motivated by seeing that body fat percentage drop, whatever. So we already talked about the consistency. Whatever method we're using to measure body fat needs to be consistent, right? We know that. Oh dear. I have to email somebody the Slack link. But I'm going to leave this up real quick while I do that. So this goes by body fat percentage. And what it talks about is what we need to do more of and what we need to do less of in order to maintain or get to this range of body fat, right? I'm actually going to have to send this to him. Wait. Apologies. And it sticks with all of these do more, do less as we go through and we talk about the various body fats. Talks about the benefits, obviously, of unhealthy body fat ranges. There aren't really any besides, I guess, happiness in eating and stuff like that, depending on what you all right, now we should be good. So one of the problems when we have higher than, let's say, low body fat, and we're looking at 20 plus, 30 plus, right, percent for this specific individual. Depending on what source we look at, sometimes the numbers fluctuate and stuff like that. Very rarely do we have athletes that fall into this range. Clearly, how does one get to this range? Do what you've been doing if you consistently keep putting on weight, right? Lots of processed foods, big portions, and the speed of eating, which I'm going to talk about later as kind of a tip. We're eating quickly, so our brain doesn't really recognize what we've put in based off the hormonal and neural regulation. So we're continue to eat, even though had we eaten that same portion in a slower manner, possibly we would have been full. It does not require any type of physical activity, whatever. Obviously, I mean, most people know how to get here, right? As we start to get into slightly lower body fat percentages, and we already talked about the difference between male and female. Females require more body fat for normal functioning. They will almost always have, at the same level of a male, they'll always have